My name is Zach Arnold. I'm a Hollywood film and television editor, a documentary director, father of two, and creator of Optimize Yourself. Since beginning my career, I have battled attention issues, anxiety, and creative burnout more times than I can keep track of. Back in 2005, after almost losing the battle with suicidal depression, I decided that I no longer wanted to sacrifice myself for the sake of my career. I was done barely surviving. I wanted to thrive. Since then, I have obsessively searched for every possible way to optimize my own creative performance. My journey is far from complete, but I have now made it my mission to shorten your learning curve so you can forge your own path to greatness without having to sacrifice balance in the process. Now it's time to start designing the optimized version of you. Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Optimize Yourself podcast, where I provide my articles in audio form so you have the opportunity to listen instead of sit and read if that's your preference. My hope is that you're going to use this opportunity to get up and step away from your chair for the next 25 minutes and build the habit of moving more throughout your workday. The following is a reading of my article titled The 4 Types of Creative Jobs and the Secret to Knowing Which is the Perfect Fit for You, which can be found at optimizeyourself.me/creative jobs. I hope the ideas in this article inspire you to take action in your life. The reading will begin after a brief moment to recognize the sponsors that literally make this show possible. Thank you so much for your patience and support. This episode is made possible by ErgoDriven, the makers of the TopoMat, my #1 recommendation for anyone interested in moving more at their height-adjustable workstation. The TopoMat is scientifically proven to help you move more throughout your day, which helps reduce discomfort and also increase your focus and productivity. To learn more, visit optimizeyourself.me/topo. That's TOPO. Imagine for a moment that you have wanted to be a doctor your whole life, and the first year of medical school is finally here. After getting a toy stethoscope for your 5th birthday, you spent the next 18 years dreaming of wearing the white coat, helping others in need, and writing the letters MD after your name. Yet, despite knowing that being a doctor is the only true career path for you, you're frustrated, anxious, and depressed. Why? Well, you feel like all the work that you're putting in could potentially be a total waste of time because you haven't seen enough results yet. You want to be a doctor now. Well, what if medical school isn't right for me? I should just become an independent doctor instead. Maybe I should network with medical directors at local hospitals to see if there are any openings. I know that I have the skills and I can prove myself today. I deserve the white coat. Why hasn't somebody discovered me yet? Well, wait a second. No medical student has ever been pulled out of their first year of medical school and given a white coat and a degree because they were quote unquote discovered. While no one would disagree that becoming a doctor is incredibly hard, it's also simple, not to be confused with easy. It's common knowledge that becoming a doctor requires everyone to follow the same path, and following that path combined with hard work and good grades almost guarantees a career in medicine. Success rarely has a defined path. Unfortunately, following a single defined path is a luxury that you don't have if you work in a creative field, especially filmmaking. You may have gotten your first camera at 5 years old and spent every moment since learning the crafts of directing, editing, cinematography, etc. Yet despite the fact that in your mind you are a filmmaker, your current job title says otherwise. Let's say that you're an assistant, and your job duties include fetching the director's coffee, picking up the producer's dry cleaning, and getting lunch for the grumpy editors who never talk to you. In short, you are a gopher. Not knowing whether or not your efforts at your current job will pay off has left you frustrated, anxious, and depressed. You're confident that you have the skills to be a successful filmmaker, but you feel like all you do is spin your wheels, stuck in the exact same place. Even worse, you recently read a story about director Ryan Coogler, whose first feature film right out of film school, Fruitvale Station, won him the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance, and now he's directing Marvel's Black Panther. Knowing that there are real people not much older or even younger than you who are light years ahead in the same career is demoralizing, especially when you have no clue if your current job is leading you to the promised land or completely wasting your time. Resentment creeps in, your performance suffers, and what was formerly an opportunity has become an obligation. What if simply understanding where your current job fits into your own unique career path completely changed the way that you approach your duties day to day, and you suddenly had 100% confidence that this was the exact path leading to your dream job? Imagine having the same level of clarity as a first year medical student that you were in the right place and all that mattered were your results. Would your mindset change? Your mood? Your performance? If you intend to climb the career ladder straight to the top, your first step is understanding the four different types of creative jobs. Only once you understand where your job fits in can you then reframe your perspective to get the most out of every opportunity or know if it's time to bail out. The paycheck job. The paycheck job is unfortunately the most common simply because the vast majority of jobs in the world are things that need to get done that most people just don't want to do. It pays the rent and it keeps you from starving, but that's about it. You aren't passionate about the work you do. You aren't building your professional network. You aren't learning new skills. You definitely aren't climbing the right career ladder. It's boring. It's stressful. You don't necessarily like your coworkers. You get sick often and you never have any energy. Time feels like it stands still and you live for the weekends. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with working a paycheck job if the most important priority in your life is to cover your rent, buy groceries, or support your family. There's no shame in working to survive. It's a stage of life that everybody goes through at some point. But once your basic needs are met, the paycheck job is simply stealing your time, your energy, and your life. Staying at a paycheck job for longer than necessary comes at a tremendous cost that, in my opinion, far outweighs any financial benefits, and it can lead to diminished passion for your craft, chronic anxiety, irritability, depression, and total creative burnout. Assuming that you have no interest in working a paycheck job for the rest of your life and you prefer a different rung on the ladder, what's the next step? The lifestyle job. The lifestyle job is a significant upgrade from the paycheck job. Your basic financial needs are met, so it fulfills the main benefit of the paycheck job, but it also comes with a host of additional benefits. Your hours are good, which allows you to spend more time with your family. Your commute is awesome. You love your coworkers. Your work environment is virtually stress-free. The pay is good, and you have fun money to spare every month. And the job itself? Well, it's fine. And therein lies the rub. While the lifestyle job has a host of fantastic benefits for your health and your well being, it also isn't moving you forwards. You aren't creatively pushed outside your comfort zone. The work is pretty easy, and sometimes it feels downright boring. You aren't learning new skills. You aren't expanding your professional network. You aren't particularly proud of the work, and perhaps you hesitate to tell other people what you're working on, or maybe you hide it on your resume altogether. There are many people who would happily work a lifestyle job the remainder of their careers carefree. But if the words safe, reliable, and dependable bore you to death, what's next? The career job. Unlike the two previous job types, the career job is propelling you forwards at light speed and has a host of benefits. You are pushed outside your creative comfort zone and growing every day. You're learning new technical skills. You're meeting new people and expanding your professional network. You're building your resume and proud to share what you're working on. Your current project might even be a total resume changer. While the career job sounds like a dream in many ways, it's far from being a dream job and it has its own laundry list of drawbacks. You may have reduced your rate in exchange for experience, or you might even be working for free. The hours are grueling and you barely have any time to manage life outside of work. You're sacrificing time with your family and friends. The commute totally sucks. You're stressed out and constantly exhausted. Your waning creativity often needs to be fueled by caffeine and energy drinks. Despite being a fantastic opportunity, a career job can only sustain for so long before it too leads to chronic health problems, mental health issues, and eventually total burnout. So there must be an alternative to choosing between either a healthy lifestyle or a successful career, right? Right? The dream job. The dream job is the top rung of the ladder. It has all the benefits of both the lifestyle and career jobs, but with none of the shortcomings. You love your work. You are creatively learning and growing every day. You're always meeting new people and building your network. The job and the work environment are both stress free. You love your coworkers. The commute is amazing. The pay is well beyond your basic needs. The hours are awesome, and you have plenty of time off during the year for vacations. You're proud of the work you do every day and you love sharing it with others, and you can't imagine doing anything else. It is extremely rare to find your dream job. Most people assume it will always be just that, a dream, and no amount of hard work can guarantee success. But what if instead of relying on more hustle, putting your nose to the grindstone, or wearing your sleep deprivation badge of honor, there was a completely different factor that ultimately determined whether or not you landed your dream job and enjoyed the journey along the way? The not so secret secret to success. Notice that I don't categorize specific job titles into the 4 different types listed above. That's not by accident, that is by design. For example, I don't classify janitor, intern, assistant, accountant, or PA as paycheck jobs. And conversely, I also don't classify director, editor, writer, or studio executive as either career jobs or dream jobs. Most people would assume that an assistant who fetches coffee and dry cleaning must be working a paycheck job because the hours are long, the duties are downright miserable, and the quality of life sucks. But if that assistant works in an environment that fosters growth and there are networking opportunities, simply by recognizing the benefits that come along with that position, it is instantly upgraded to a career job. On the flip side, it's also conceivable that despite directing $200 million studio feature films for a living, you aren't working your dream job. Instead, you simply have a paycheck job. See Michael Bay. Ultimately, the only factor that determines which type you have is the mindset that you bring to it every single day. Several years back, I reached a shocking point in my career that I never anticipated. After editing 4 seasons of Burn Notice, nobody wanted to hire me. I couldn't find another editing job anywhere. I assumed that after working on a hit show that I'd never have to look for work again, but I couldn't have been more wrong. After several months of unemployment, a referral from a colleague ended up landing me a job on a new show called Black Box, a medical procedural for ABC that had no recognizable stars. And if you've never heard of Black Box, don't worry, neither has anybody else. If there's one thing that I have no interest in editing, ever, it is a medical procedural. But here I was needing a steady income with 0 other opportunities available. I knew at that moment, if I was going to spend the next 6 months of my life doing creative work that I had no interest in whatsoever, I had to shift my perspective simply for the sake of my mental health. There was no question that Black Box was not my dream job. Given that the hours were long, it was a stressful first season show, and the commute sucked. It most certainly wasn't a lifestyle job. And at first glance, for me personally, it wasn't a career job because I wasn't interested in working on a medical show. So I guess I just had to suck it up and accept that Black Box was just a paycheck job, right? Punch in, do the bare minimum, punch out. Easy enough. If I could narrow down the turning point of my entire career to one single moment, this was the moment. As I sat in the parking lot my first morning at Black Box, I closed my eyes, I took a deep breath, and I told myself that the number one goal of this job opportunity was to expand my professional network. That became my one thing. Expanding my professional network was going to require me to do excellent work every single day, so the directors, producers, and showrunners would want to work with me on future projects. Even though I wasn't creatively interested in a medical procedural, I consistently delivered great work every single day because I was confident that doing great work would lead to the opportunity to do more great work in the future. This single shift in perspective on day one of what could have been a dead-end paycheck job led me to editing 2 seasons of Empire. Eileen Chaikin was the showrunner of Black Box, who then became the showrunner of Empire. This single shift in perspective also led to editing 3 seasons of Shooter because the post-production producer loved working with me and wanted me to be on all of her future teams. And this single shift in perspective has led to 3 different offers to edit TV pilots, as well as a Netflix series, because the creator of Black Box and one of the directors loved my work as well. It wasn't my ability to use Avid, my skills as a film editor, or resting on the laurels of my resume that landed me 5 seasons of editing work. I landed 5 seasons of editing work because of my attitude. Better opportunities are not going to lead to better attitude. Having a better attitude is what will lead to better opportunities. Now it's your turn. Working in a creative field can be incredibly frustrating because there's no guarantee that the effort you put in every single day will pay off, ever. It's conceivable that after 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of earning a master's degree, postgraduate internships and entry level jobs, and yet another several years of mid level jobs, that you still end up becoming a real estate agent or an insurance salesman. Now, while there's no guarantee that you're going to become a feature film director after 10 years of hard work like the guarantee that doctors have, the one thing that you can control is your attitude. Perspective is everything. If you're working an entry level job and hating every minute of it, instead of focusing on the things that you're not doing, try focusing instead on what you can learn from the things that you are doing. If you're doing the type of job that you want, but working on projects that you absolutely hate, think about how bringing the best version of your craft to the table every single day can lead to lasting relationships and future projects that you will absolutely love. If you're bored at your current job because it doesn't challenge you, focus on all of the lifestyle benefits that you get from working close to home with coworkers that you love, with a steady paycheck as well as some fun money to spare. And if after examining every facet of your current job, you can find absolutely no benefits whatsoever outside of the fact that it allows you to pay the bills every month, well, maybe it's time to pull the plug. If you're interested in getting the most out of every opportunity and having 100% confidence that your actions are leading you closer to your dream job, I want to let you know that enrollment for my brand new Design Yourself program is opening very soon. If you'd like to join the waitlist and be the first to know when enrollment opens and get a steep discount, visit optimizeyourself.me/design. I hope you enjoyed the reading of my article, The 4 Types of Creative Jobs and the Secret to Knowing Which is the Perfect Fit for You, which can be found at optimizeyourself.me/creativejobs. I hope that you are inspired to take action in your life, and this article gave you the opportunity to step away from your desk and incorporate just a little bit of movement into your day. Thank you for listening. Be well. This episode of the Optimize Yourself podcast was made possible by ErgoDriven, the makers of the Topo Mat and Topo Mini, my #1 recommendations for anyone interested in moving more at their height adjustable workstation. Listen, standing desks are only great if you're standing well. Otherwise, you're constantly fighting fatigue and chronic pain. Not like any other anti-fatigue mat, the Topo is scientifically proven to help you move more throughout the day, which helps reduce discomfort and also increase your focus and productivity. My friends at ErgoDriven did extensive testing and compared their product to the top-of-the-line floor mats, and they found the Topo drove almost 2.5 more moves per minute with 270% more foot motion. Now, what this simply means is that the Topo users move more. I'm standing on one as I read this, and I don't go to a single job without it. And if you're smaller and you're concerned the Topo Mat is too big, or you simply don't have the floor space, there's a Topo Mini for that. To learn more, visit optimizeyourself.me/topo. That's TOPO.